List.io.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of You Deserve Fresh Lettuce. I am your co-host Rachel.
And I'm Delia.
And this episode we're going to be talking about bachelor parties.
Bachelorette parties.
Yeah, girls night out, all the fun stuff.
Dirty parties.
Ooh, this is one of them episodes that I literally off camera said, I don't know how far we go.
How much I get. You're like starting to put the names down.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Don't forget you can follow us online or on social media at YDFL Podcast. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please head on over to YouTube and check us out and give us a subscribe, like, follow.
Thumbs up, like, follow,
Comment.
share with 3 friends.
Yeah, you can also ask Alexa.
I love that. Ask Alexa
To play your,
You Deserve Fresh Lettuce.
You Deserve Fresh
Podcast,
Lettuce
yeah.
podcast. All right, let's get into it. Bachelor parties. First and foremost, I had a really good friend that got married. They were in their 30s when they got married, and they both opted to not have bachelor parties or bachelorette parties.
Is it co-ed?
He went golfing in the day, lunch,
Hole in
cigar
one.
lounge,
Hole in one.
and golf. And she did a brunch that was very beautiful in the day at the same time that he was doing the golf thing.
Okay.
I loved it, but I don't know. There's still people having bachelor parties and bachelorette parties. Should your significant other be allowed, so to speak, to have a bachelor party?
That's a good question. So, I think that from my personal experience, it has been this way. It's bachelor and bachelorette parties are almost like the jail-free card of the day. But
it's the hall pass?
It's a hall pass, basically. And so, if you have a fiance, you're going to get married, she's going to be your wife, he's going to be your husband. If you guys were doing any other day and you hooked up with some random, it's still cheating. Technically, it's still cheating. So there's no hall pass unless both of you guys have an understanding like, honey, that day, go balls to the wall. Literally.
Or balls to the Holly or whatever
it is. Yeah. I mean, I've been in Vegas. Vegas is very known for this.
Yeah.
And I've seen girls with the white veil on, and they're literally just going through the entire dance floor and just grabbing on the guys and like.
Well, now the trend is, have you seen the trend? I think we talked about it before.
Getting married?
They go with their veil to a bar, lounge, club, whatever. The girl, the bride-to-be, goes up to like a super hot guy that's there and says, I'm engaged to be married. Change my mind. And then it's like, woo, and they freaking do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And in the attempt to change her mind.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're already going in to the marriage with that mindset, you know, we can bet our pants that it's probably going to end.
Pants.
We can bet our skirts.
Our pantless situation.
We're
Our bet our panties.
We're going to bet our panties, our less panties, like that. They're probably not going to last very long. And I guess at the end of the day, you have to really take into consideration, like, do I really love this guy? Do I want to be with him long term? Do I think this is just something that we're doing? Because sometimes people go in on it because it's like, well, I'm in my 30s. I might as well do it. Like, everyone's getting married, and it's kind of more of a transactional thing than
just like the idea
of just saying I finally got married
instead of the hopeless romantic thing.
Actually loving, respecting, and having that whole bond with the person.
Yeah.
But you know, if you do decide to go down that path, and then you know they have strippers, and you want to have sex with the stripper, you know, you have to understand that nowadays, like when they used to say, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's like,
it literally doesn't. Whatever happens stays on Instagram. And
whatever
Snapchat
happens, wherever the hell you're being a dirty birdie and a sucia. It goes on social media. It goes on videos.
And there's always that low-level friend that's like,
she's ready.
She's just ready to capture the behind the scenes
and
of
then
like
the guys are ready, and you know, it doesn't end well.
Okay, story time.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk all about it. Okay, so I knew a situation, no names being dropped here.
Can we just give her a name?
Nope.
Susie Q is always
let's
good.
Let's just do Susie Q. And you know what's funny? I actually do have a friend named Susan who watches the show, and I'm like, wait a minute, There is a Susie, so that's not that Susie.
Okay, yesterday I think we kept talking about Susie Q's like all week.
Yeah.
And there was this like license plate at the freaking mall, and it said Susie Cue, Susie Q, and I was like, you don't say.
There
Susie,
she is.
There she is.
That's so crazy.
All right, so go ahead.
Story time.
Let's talk
Girl, good girl.
Good girl.
Bachelorette party. Good old time.
Oh, really?
Okay. Slept with a stripper.
Ooh.
Everybody cheering on.
That's freaking.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa. You don't just say a story like that. You're just like, oh, she slept with the. So
Turn
wait.
the page.
No.
I'm turning the page.
Oh, hell to the no.
And
wait, so she's like on riding him type of thing in front of everybody?
He's the stripper. So
right, I get it. Okay, so she's like.
She's not doing him.
Okay,
she's doing her.
Okay, I just. Okay.
So, everybody's cheering.
Are they both
naked?
No. God, do not want to get a visual.
She's like, part 2, please. Part 2.
Wait, like, in front of
the guys. Listen, everything's in front of friends. Legs in the air in front of friends.
I'm thinking like
stripper making them. You've seen the damn freaking male
like
stripper.
Pony, like,
you know how they get down. Yeah. And they flip them around and do all the stuff. Okay.
So he banged her.
And she's in a little tiny dress, and then it's just starting to go down. And of course, some of these stripper guys, they take it out because all the girls want to see. And when the drinks are
what you're working with.
And show me what you're working with. And it's like this whole thing, and everyone's like, oh my God. So then you have the girl, you always have the prude ones, they're like, kind of like me, like, oh God.
They're doing the sign of the cross.
But then we're like, what? No, wait, move. Like, trying to see. So it got wild.
Wild and out.
They too got wild. But fast, and this is when I was young. I think I was like 20, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, fast forward. Marriage happens, right? We're at the wedding. She's going through it. We're all praying. Who knows what the hell he did at his. But they went for it. Anyways, she got pregnant.
Oh, hell to the no.
So everybody's like, oh, honeymoon baby. We're like, okay. Because the bachelorette party was the weekend before the wedding.
Okay.
So anyways.
Don't tell me the kid
rumor
came out
has it,
black.
like Adele says, rumor has it.
Was the baby half black?
Well, he wasn't a black guy.
Okay, just kidding.
Dang, we're just out here adding all kinds of freaking stuff. Okay, let's just pretend it was a black guy.
Okay.
And the baby came. So let's just say the baby was black. The baby came out with some color.
Yeah.
Didn't match necessarily. No, just kidding.
Right.
But you couldn't tell looking. But anyway, she did go get a test. And it turned out to be the dancers, the strippers' kid.
Hell to the no.
For 3 years. This was not a really, really good friend of mine, but it was my friend's really good friend. I was invited to the bachelor party.
Yeah.
I got to the wedding. That woman
guilty by association.
Knew for about 3 years. 3 years, she would meet up twice a week at the park, and the stripper dude would show up and push the swing and do. So it was like a whole situation.
You know, here's the thing though. Like, I'm sorry, I'm getting like another visual. Like, so he finished inside of her in front of her friends.
You know the pull-out method doesn't work, right?
Dude, but come on.
It was a bachelor party.
Oh, man.
Listen, and it wasn't like right there in front of the friends, the whole thing. It started out.
Okay.
And there was some things.
Okay.
And he wasn't the only stripper. And there was other action. There was like other action going on with everybody. Distraction.
Okay.
And then it was like, where's she at though?
Oh, she went MIA.
And then it was the sound effects.
Oh,
over the music.
Hello.
And it was the I found her. And then it was a woo and the cheering and the whatever, thinking whatever.
Damn, and then who would have known on that day she was ovulating?
You can get pregnant anything, my dear. So she literally does whatever, and that's what happened.
So
rumor has it that's what happened was she got the test of the kid. Of the baby.
Awesome. So does the husband, did he ever know? Did he get divorced? Like, what was the
so
end
I don't
story
know.
to this?
I don't have. It's a cliffhanger forever because I wasn't
I'm sure there's
close
a lot
to
of
her
stories like that.
But I'm giving you the scenario because that was the last I had heard was that they were 3 years deep and the husband didn't know yet at the 3 year mark. And the stripper guy did know, and he would meet up with her at the park and visit the kid and even give her a little bit of money and buy the kid shoes.
A lot of singles, a lot of dollar bills.
It was a lot of dollars.
Singles.
And then when I tell you, that's just one story.
Of very many stories.
Of many different stories.
I can only imagine. I can't even top that story, to be honest with you. Because, like, I don't think I know anybody that's, like, that sucia.
And the shocker is she was a genuine good girl. Like, it was like the, you know, because alcohol, and like, you get a lot of alcohol in someone, and that's something we have to keep in mind. You have a person, it could be a good girl, it could be a decent dude, you know, you get that alcohol flowing plus all the peer pressure energy of like, yeah. Next thing you know, you got a penis in you, and you thought you were just getting a lap dance or whatever this was.
Right, and then
it's some other
happy
thing.
ending inside you.
And so for her, she literally the next day, supposedly, while we were there, she was like, oh my God, like, wait, you guys, like, wait. So it wasn't the clearest of like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. It was like a little bit of a panic situation. And so that's where I'm saying she was genuinely a good girl in that regard, drank a lot, and it was a hell of a time, obviously, for everybody. I'm still talking about it all these years later. But that was, the rumor had it, that was what the outcome was.
Oh my gosh. So I know that because you hear a lot of those stories, it's been like the newest trend in Bachelor, Bachelorette parties is like to do a co-ed, or that you do a co-ed getaway to Cabo, or you go to wherever, and that way you kind of keep it all in control, because there's always the one friend that maybe is going through divorce, or maybe single, and even the girls where they're a little bit more wilding out, and now they're like instigating to be like, yeah, it's your last day.
Yeah.
And so in my opinion, I feel like that's not the hall pass. Like, if you knew that he's out being with a secretary or whatever, that's not a hall pass. Like, that doesn't make him single. You're engaged. So I think there's a respect level, but I think that if you're
enough alcohol and enough people cheering you on. So my thing about the co-ed thing is like, then what's the point of having a bachelor? What's the point of celebrating that part of it?
Then there's really no point. I mean, once you're kind of locked and loaded with a person, no pun intended, like when you're with someone and you have the understanding that he's your boyfriend, it starts off like boyfriend and girlfriend, cool. You know that you shouldn't go out on him, or she should, or vice versa. So now you're engaged. Well, now you most definitely shouldn't do that. So why would you want to have a bachelor, bachelorette party? I think it should be a celebration, possibly. Maybe I'm being a prude. But I think it should be a celebration of both of you guys coming together, friends coming together, having a good time. There's no reason why you guys can't pop bottles together and enjoy, the
That's
one
true.
celebration. I mean, why do you need more women there or more men there? And you're setting yourself up for failure. And you hear these stories a lot. You hear these stories way too much. A lot.
And I've been to some quite a few bachelorette parties that were just fine. Meaning, like, it was the party bus or the limo, and everybody was drinking, and we all had, like, the penis necklaces, and we played the games, and, like, everyone's dressed super cute in the cute dresses, and, like, we went to the clubs, and, like, and yeah, there's guys, and maybe there's dancing and all this kind of stuff with the bride-to-be, and it's all fun. It's like that last girls' night out, single kind of thing, but nothing like that. And even if there's strippers, I remember even going to like some show, and it's like a bunch of strippers, and it's all out in the open, nothing overly, dramatic.
Done.
But once in a while,
you'll get it.
Once in a while, there's these other things that could happen. So with the guys, though.
Yeah. Well, okay, so recently I was at a girlfriend's house, and it was so weird because they had hired a guy that was a bartender, and he was very good looking, and so the bar's kind of a really long, like it's in her house. It's a really beautiful home, and he's serving up drinks, and he's got the lemon and the lime, and there's this energy, right, like this essence. And the guy, like, I'd get behind him, and he'd kind of like move in a certain way, and I was like, dude, what's up with this guy? And he's like, can I help you with anything? I find out later that he's a freaking stripper. And I don't know what it is, like, strippers have this, like, sexual energy that is, like, undeniable. And I was like, okay, first of all, I started looking at the guy, I was like, he looks like he is he's not, like, much older than 30. And I was like, boy.
Yeah. We got some
Magic Mike energy. And so later on, one of the birthday girls was there. And he's like, let me show you what I'm working with. Not me, but to her. Gave her a full lap dance. And I was like, hey, check this guy out, man. I told one of the girls, I was like, I knew that guy was something like that. I'm like, you could sense it. It's this energy.
There is something, they get paid for it. It's just like the women. And I know that with the guys, oftentimes when they're going on the bachelor parties, they'll say, oh yeah, we're gonna have a stripper there. Now they fast forward all the way ahead. They just get the call girls.
That's awesome.
And that way there could be the happy ending situation while they're getting the show and all that kind of stuff. And it's often multiple girls, and and that becomes a tough situation, because where you get the women together, it's like we talk about, if a bunch of girls go out dancing together, they can dance with each other.
Right.
They can dance by themselves. They don't have to dance with the guys or whatever, or get drinks with the guys. The men, they ain't doing that. The men is like, so with the males having the bachelor party in Vegas or wherever it might be, hiring the girls that are willing to have sex at the end as a happy ending, as part of the show type thing. They don't come by themselves. They don't show up by themselves. They have multiple ones. So now it's one of those things of like, who's super down? And the number of stories I've heard that it's the guys that seem the most happiest in the marriage is the one that's like, woo, again, alcohol flowing.
Cocaine.
Maybe cocaine's a hell of a drug type thing. And then there we go. So
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
So let's just say you walk down the aisle, you get married, you're 90 days in, a year in, you go, babe, you could tell me, like, did you have sex at your bachelor party? And he says, you know what, babe? I sure did. Now what?
Well, damn.
Talia's like, seeing colors.
We're gonna annul this mother. Now I'm seeing the color of my shirt. I think that if you stuck that out, you would not trust him ever. Period.
You wouldn't trust him going to bachelor parties?
No, you would have trust issues, and then you would appreciate the fact that he's being honest. It's almost like a double-edged sword, because it's like, okay, he's being honest, which I appreciate. Yeah. However, I don't appreciate the lie,
honesty,
and the lie, because it's a lie, and so he should have known that he had to respect the relationship. So yeah, I think it could be grounds for divorce or grounds for annulment, because then at that point you have to make it the determination: am I going to trust this guy?
So guys,
and then he's obviously, like, today's word of the day is sucio. He's a freaking sucio.
Listen, so that means if you're one of the guys that spy on the show, you have to know that you think it's a hall pass. We do not think it's a hall pass.
Right.
We're thinking, oh God, he's gonna have titties in his face or whatever the situation is. It's a bachelor party, okay. But at the end of the day, you're hearing it here. We're not thinking you're gonna go all the way. We're thinking you're just gonna like sample the buffet, but not. You're gonna chew, but not swallow. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, no, I hope he doesn't chew and swallow.
Is that realistic for men?
It's probably not. That's what I'm saying. If you really think that this could lead to a possibility of divorce, and you've taken all this time, because usually, marriages and weddings and this and that take a lot of time, money, and effort. And if you really think about all of what you're putting into something, and all of a sudden he hooks up with the stripper, and then now you're 90 days out, and there's so many things that go on. It's like, is it worth it? I mean, I think most of the things, and most of the time, you got to think about things like, is this worth it for me? And it's like, nah.
And do you want to sample something else that you might like better?
I don't know.
You finally made a decision to go, okay, I'm going to buy this one. This is the one. I'm putting a ring on her. Everything's good. You're 1 week out, and you go freaking balls to the walls, we just said, and you get with this girl. Maybe you're marrying a blonde, but this is a brunette. Maybe you're marrying a little skinny thing, but this one's kind of thick, and she has things to grab. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh shoot, I didn't realize that I like curves, or I like this, or I like these moves. So now you married this one, and you're like still thinking about that dinner, at Morton's or whatever it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I think at that point you shouldn't get married. I think you should
call the wedding off.
Yeah, you should
call the wedding up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's better to do it now than to do it later. Like, you might as well get the blow now than to get the blow later.
And then the
guests, it's better to lose now than to lose later, because we talk about this all the time. A lot of the time, people stay because of why I already invested all this time. I already put this much effort in it. I already been with her this long. It's like, why even go there? Just.
So I think
cut your losses. Cut your losses.
So I think the moral of the story is, ladies, it's better to have. It's better to have a little bit of friction with your partner to say, babe, I really don't want you to have a bachelor party.
Yeah.
It's better to have that conflict than to try to suck it up and be like, I don't want to be that wife.
Yeah.
Babe, go have your bachelor party. And then the whole time you're like, oh my God, what is he doing? And then afterwards realizing, oh yeah, I got pretty nuts. And you know what, babe? I don't even remember.
Or, you know what? Or, this is something that I've never thought of. It's just like a download. The aliens are downloading this. Or someone or two people are designated to stay on the live. So whatever's going on, they got to stay on live. So like if you want to tap into whatever's going on all up in there. I mean,
wait, are we broadcasting? We're going to stream our bachelorette parties?
Okay. So if you got nothing to hide and if you really want to go there and, you know, like you may be like a kind of a cool new up and coming wife, and then you're like, okay, it's cool. Like I'm cool with him getting a lap dance and doing all that stuff, but I just want to make sure it doesn't go there. Like I'm just saying, like that's a possibility. Like it just came through.
Okay, so you live stream your bachelorette party while live streaming his bachelor party.
So you could tap in,
and the girls from your party could watch, see what the guys are doing, and vice versa.
Yep, tap in.
Wasn't there a thing called roulette a few years back that you could do that?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
But that could be really cool, and you'd be like, "This motherfucker! I can't believe he did that." You know? I mean, or like, you know what?
Okay, so enter the techies into the room because you know why? Think about 2020 COVID lockdowns. What the students and the employees were doing. They were pre-recording themselves at the desk doing all this kind of stuff, and then putting their phone cameras onto the screen. So the person thought they're watching the live, and it was a pre-recording of them doing it. So imagine the guys are just sitting there playing poker one night, and they pre-recorded it. So
or they like edit the girl out.
So that way, when you're watching it live, you're watching something that was recorded a week before. Can you imagine? I'm just saying.
Oh man! So now you're trying to ruin the idea. Like, come on! It was like a download that came through. Like, I'm trying to help people.
It could still be a good thing, but I think if you're going to be that concerned, it shouldn't happen. And my dear friend years ago, she did her brunch with the girls, and it was a lot of fun, and we got her lingerie, and it was all the good things. And the dudes went for the golfing thing during the day, and her
like
actual
dirty birdies hole in one. Yeah. Wink, wink.
And you know what? It was fine and dandy.
It was fine and dandy.
Fine and dandy. So, all right, well, that's all we have for you guys.
So
whether you guys decide to do the bachelorette thing, you don't, or whatever, you don't.
Go on live.
Whatever you do, just remember
you deserve
fresh lettuce. Cheers.